Huh? Central banks. Actually, yesterday someone also answered central bank. DBS, UOB, OCBC, they do borrow from the central bank, MAS, but that's called overnight borrowing. Because imagine today, 1,000 people wrote a check or did a transfer from OCBC to UOB. Then tonight, OCBC has to pay this amount of money to UOB. Every day they have to settle millions of transactions, millions of dollars worth. So they borrow from MAS, and that's only overnight. Everything is settled overnight. But when the banks lend us money, where does the money come from? Sorry? Savings, household savings. That's why the banks want your savings. They want you to put deposits with them. How much do they pay you? 0.05%. When they give a loan, credit card loan, how much do they charge? 28%. Oh. So they pay you 0.05%, they take your money, they lend it out, they charge 28%. So banks make a lot of money. Okay. When you look at supply of loanable funds, as Faith mentioned, it comes from household savings. Household savings. Where else does it come from? Huh? Who else will put money in the bank to try to earn the returns? What kind of investors? Hot money investors. Very good. Hot money deposits. Only these two. Just stick to these two can already. Who needs loanable funds? Who borrows? Firms? Some more? Households? The third one? Government. Remember, they are affected, right? Cost of credit, interest rates. Okay, so this loanable funds theory is not required, but it helps us understand something better. It helps us understand crowding out. Crowding out, remember what I said? Who needs money? Government. So when the government needs money, what happens to the diagram? Government borrowing will cause what? Will lead to higher. Oh, government borrowing leads to what? On the diagram. You tell? Higher interest rate. Wow, very good. Good. Can you all see this? See this, the big screen, not the small screen.
How would government borrowing increase demand rather than quantity?
The government borrows not because of interest rates going down. The government borrows because it wants to run expansionary fiscal policy. Okay? So demand for loanable funds go up, interest rates go up, and okay, look at this. This is your crowding out. Crowds out private investments and private consumption. Where is the crowding out? Here. But they don't ask for diagrams, so it's just for your understanding. Right? You feel shortchanged? You pay your school fees, then you don't learn this model. Oh. Petition, you go and write. Hey, you put this in the syllabus. Okay? Now it's a very interesting state of things, right? Your pay school fees and don't want to learn new things. Go and take. Some people tell me I'm bad in math. So uni, I don't want to do any math related stuff. You know, after uni, what happens? You start working. And can you tell your employers, I'm bad in this, don't give me anything related to this? No. So uni is a training ground. Whatever you are bad in, you have to do it. So econs is the best. You get trained in essay writing. You get trained in technical analysis. Two for the price of one. Econs is a very useful subject. Okay, so you're all undergoing training now. Not brainwashing us because I ask you to ask questions, right? If I don't take your questions, I say, hey, don't disrupt the flow. Oh, it's brainwashing. Okay, does that happen? All right. So crowding out. Now, it also explains the model also explains why Singapore cannot use interest rate policy.
So
Yes,
I just want you to explain crowding out again.
crowding out again. Okay, this one, crowding out, we can go back to this one. When we talk about crowding out here, when government has no money, yet it wants to run expansionary fiscal policy, it will have to, number one, borrow. Borrowing leads to higher interest rates. And you squeeze out C and I. Because we know C and I are affected by cost of credit and interest rates. So here I'm trying to show, actually there's a model that explains it, but you don't need to draw the model. Okay, so this is not required. But just to deepen your understanding of crowding out. I'm not saying crowding out is irrelevant. You have to write it, but no diagram.
So the highlighted region of the diagram is like the consumer or firms, like borrowing that do not use the government borrowing.
Which cause interest rates to rise. Yes.
It's a shift from the curve and not just a movement along the.
So the government borrowing caused the shift. Then the crowding out is when you have lower borrowing from consumers and investors. And that lower borrowing is because of higher interest rates, so it's a movement along the curve. Are we good? This is just info. Okay? Just background info. But this one is not background. You don't have to draw the model, but let's say this one you have to listen because there are about 4 or 5 steps. Very important. If Singapore lowers interest rates to try to stimulate growth, if we lower interest rates to increase growth, hot money flows very fast. Hot money flows out. Hot money outflow. Now, on this diagram, hot money outflow, which curve shifts? Supply, left or right? False, left or right? Hey, have you ever wondered, you say supply of loanable funds fall, right? This one, you all remember MPC, MPB, market failure? When MPC rises, left or right? MPC rises, left or right? MPC rises, right? Then this one, supply falls. How come it's also like that? It's the axis. You have to make sure you look at the correct axis. Now you're looking at cost on the y-axis. So we always see it as upward, downward. Okay? But here, you are talking about supply demand, you are looking at the x-axis. That's why we always say leftwards, rightwards. So always ensure you know which axis you are taking reference from. Then you will not be confused. Demand and supply is always looking at x-axis. Increase means rightward, decrease means leftward. Okay? Market failure firms, you are always looking at the y-axis. Okay? PPC, both axes. Okay. Hot money outflow, supply of loanable funds fall. When it falls, interest rates will. When it falls, interest rates will rise. Can you see? This is what I was referring to here. You try to do something, the effect is reversed. And I know some of you have a question in your mind. Okay? So, any questions here? I'll see if anyone is asking that question. So this is to say why we cannot use interest rate. Not that we don't want, we cannot. You try to change interest rates, hot money flows will reverse the interest rate movement. Yeah, okay.